Hi guys, today I have a great guest, which is Satveer. Satveer, she's an international yoga teacher. She's also holistic therapist. She's RTT therapist, and she specializes in PTSD and anxiety. Satveer, welcome.
Thank you.
How are
Thanks
you?
for having me, Joanna.
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do and what you specialize? Because you are like I mentioned, you specialize in PTSD, anxiety, and you also do different stuff apart from art.
Yeah. So I started off throughout the years of just teaching yoga, and then people would come up to me after class and say, you know what, I'm still having symptoms of hypervigilance and unable to sleep, unable to relax, and so I started delving in deeper and started working more with PTSD. And PTSD, a lot of people think that it's only subjective to war veterans. People think that only people that have experienced war suffer from PTSD, but that's not the case. People that suffered, there's few examples of people that have go through, suffer car accidents, been attacked physically, abused, rape, natural tragedies in life, loss, those kind of things, and even more. These are just a few examples. Other people can suffer from PTSD. So what are PTSD type symptoms tend to be flashbacks, hypervigilance, people chronically feeling on edge, feeling uneasy, they startle very quickly, they find that they just can't relax, they can't sleep, they avoid places, situations, events that can trigger PTSD type symptoms. They always have this feeling of apprehension, feeling unsafe, feeling unsettled within themselves, and these memories come back to them often, and they kind of plague their mind with them. They find it hard to connect to people. They feel like they have to live in isolation. They feel unsafe connecting to people. They feel like they can't trust people. They don't let people in. So they feel quite lonely and quite isolated as they're stuck in this kind of little, in this whirlpool of this kind of emotions that are going through the system. Now, the reason they suffer from PTSD, because when they suffer the trauma, the higher the intensity of their emotional quotient, the more trapped energy is stuck in the system. So that memory becomes stuck in the amygdala and the alarm part of the brain. And when it's stuck in that part of the brain, the memory is not being processed. It's just spinning around like a broken record. So when that memory is stuck there, it's spinning around, and then that's when they're having the flashbacks. It's not, the memory's not being processed to the frontal part of the brain, to the neocortex. So what I do is, when I help people with PTSD, is I use hypnotherapy, and hypnotherapy allows the people to process that memory. Okay, so when you're under hypnosis, it allows the memory to be processed, so the memory moves from the amygdala into the neocortex, where the memory can be processed. So you no longer feel the energetic, the emotional charge that was created during that event. You'll remember the event, but you'll no longer feel that anymore. And the same with PTSD, becomes there's a lot of emotions connect to it, such as shame, guilt, anger, loneliness, sadness, which is connected to PTSD as well. So under hypnosis, it allows you to free yourself from that. So one of the clients that I worked with recently, she went through PTSD, and she witnessed someone try to take their life, which was very traumatic for her. And so she started having symptoms of PTSD. She was getting the flashbacks, the hypervigilance. She was crying all the time. She couldn't just be herself. She couldn't sleep at night. And she felt unsafe and scared everywhere she was going. So she felt uncomfortable reaching out, because one of the symptoms of PTSD is not trusting anybody, not wanting to reach out, isolating oneself. And then she managed to get the courage to reach out, and we worked together. And in one session, I was able to make her understand. What she realized under hypnosis was that she actually saved this guy's life. She actually saved his life. And by having that understanding, she was able to let go of all those feelings, the guilt, the
Amazing.
resentment, yeah, of all attached with it. But at the same time, she now sees that event in her mind, but it no longer bothers her anymore. So that's how powerful hypnosis is. It allows you to process the memory. So you'll see the memory, you'll remember it, but it no longer has that emotional intensity connected to it. And at the same time, you're letting go of all of the negative associations connected to it as well. So it's really powerful in doing that. And it's very powerful at releasing one event PTSD in most clients in one session. Yeah.
Wow, that is really amazing. That sounds fantastic. Really well done with this. Well
Yeah,
done.
thank you.
Tell
Thank
me
you.
how people can reach out to you.
First, the most important thing to understand is for people to reach out, they have to step out the box for a moment and say that, you know what, I really want help. And because with PTSD, people suffer. I've had clients that have come to me after 20 years of suffering from PTSD, even 40 years of suffering from PTSD, because they always feel like the lack of trust and connecting to people. And that's what you need to realize is, what people need to realize is that's one of the symptoms of PTSD, the lack of trust. When you step out the box and say, that's not real, I'm going to want to do something about this, and there's someone that can help me here. You've got to step out that comfort zone for a moment, which is not really a comfort zone. It's a false reality of where people are sitting, and step out of their box and just say, you know what, I want to reach out. I don't want to suffer for the rest of my life. Because no organism's meant to live in chronic states of fight and flight. It's just not, it's very unhealthy, it's very toxic for the body. So once you realize that there is a way that you can get help, just step out that box and say, you know what, I want to do this, and I'm going to do this. And then you can contact me on my website, emotionalfreedomanyway.com. And there's a contact form there. You can do either via WhatsApp or via email or phone, and just reach out and do a free consultation, and we'll see what's going on. Yeah.
I really loved the name of your website, Emotional Freedom Anyway.
Yeah, I named it Emotional Freedom Anyway because I work via Zoom, and I work internationally, and I teach yoga internationally. I work with people all over the world, so you can free yourself from whatever emotional baggage you're holding on anywhere in the world at the convenience of your own home. Yeah.
And this is so amazing now in the 21st century that you can do therapies and without leaving home, actually. And
Yeah, and I think
safe,
for a lot of people, they find
safe.
that quite comfortable. Yeah, a lot
Yes.
of people don't have to leave their homes. They don't, especially with COVID right now. A lot of people feel a lot more comfortable. It's a lot more natural. Even
Yes, true,
teaching yoga classes online, we're doing it all
true.
via Zoom,
But
and we're still getting.
also like your specialty, PTSD. I think people who has it also for them stay in their own place where they feel comfortable, safe.
Yeah, exactly. It benefits them. They're in their own place at their own time. And even during the session, we use very gentle dissociative techniques. So in the session, you're not reliving anything, you're
Yeah,
simply reviewing it. And we do use very gentle techniques, dissociative techniques, where you're definitely not reliving anything, you're simply processing
true.
the memory
I think this
with
is also
gentle
something
techniques.
which people are afraid before they go for this kind of session. They're afraid that they're gonna feel this pain they felt, which
Yeah, well, what people need to realize is that they're reliving it already every single day. And most days they're already doing that in their head every day.
true.
When they're having that flashbacks and then they start looking into that memory, they're reliving it over and over again. The mind's primitive, so its job is to keep you safe. So you're reliving that process, that memory every day, the mind's showing you that you don't want to experience that every day. Okay, so that's why all the symptoms of avoidance coming and the isolation. So you're not reliving the event through hypnosis, you're simply processing it. And we do very gentle dissociative techniques which allow you to process the memory. And then once you process the memory and release those emotions that attach to it, that's what's liberating, that's what's freeing to the client.
True. That is so amazing. Listen, thank you very much for this. Really, I
Thanks for having
really
me.
appreciate that.
Thank
You're
you.
a beautiful human being, and I love really your work, and you have fantastic effects. And I hope many people are going to reach out to you because, guys, there is no time in our life to waste. We have just only one life. We have to use it.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Take care.
Thank you.